All right, welcome everyone. Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Monogatari, Often Monster, Episode 8.
Okay.
All right.
This is a Bon Appetit arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Bon Appetit, except, oh wait. Oh, you died. Whoops.
Again.
You should really fix that.
Yeah. If you're going to build your little Deathtopia, you might want to figure out a way that you can have other people living in it.
Yeah. Maybe also get some life insurance. I imagine you could get some pretty crazy payouts.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, or at the very least, find a second seat, with all the symmetry that you got in this really beautiful, castle that you
exactly
stumbled into and stuff.
Yeah, I get the feeling you might discover that mortals have certain requirements of upkeep, like heat and, all that kind of stuff. That you might,
nourishment.
Yeah, exactly. That you might not have necessarily dealt with in several centuries. So.
Right.
Yeah.
But she is a princess, so she doesn't poop or anything. So there's that, So
but she stated she's not a princess.
But yes, what's in a name?
Yeah.
Let's find out. A lot of names. What's in a lot of names? So yeah, y'all. Without further ado, let's get into this. It's in the blood. That's actually really telling. Gotcha. You'd have to feed while not hungry. Yeah.
All the habits die hard.
Yeah. But is that 2 more times only? Only 2 more? And then things are figured out and resolved?
I think it's
not.
more just two times off screen. This continued,
Yeah, we are still continuing the plot linearly. Right.
Go
we need to uglify the beautiful princess.
Go roll around in some mud and say mean things about people. Are we gonna see all the little shinobu behaviors begin?
Oh, yeah, we're covering the meals thing. Cool. Oh, is that a shinobu thing?
Don't remember. You're still failing at it.
Yes. Oh, that was gorgeous. Yeah, there's no one to gain information from. Well, that's gonna be barren probably too, so...
Yeah.
This iron. Yeah. Whoa, fun.
You want to keep her exactly as she is?
Gotcha. So that she's just gonna take the laugh, yeah. Wild. Yeah,
genuine appreciation. Because you were attempting to save her.
Yeah.
Whoa. Is she smaller now?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the deaths of starvation have gotten closer.
And it was empty.
Everyone was gone.
Oh.
ならば少しは得るものはあったのではないか。
まあそれは少しなら
Then why do you have nothing to report?
わざわざお話しするのもバカバカしいような童話の類でして。
童話？
Then
Yeah.
we're in fairy tale land, yeah.
Yeah.
蹴られた呪いを解くのは王子様のキスしかないと古くより定められているそうなのでございます。
Gotcha. That whole thing.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay.
That deserves a cut. Yeah.
この刀のように美しく輝く心を持つあの
Nice.
果たしてどんな名前がふさわしいのか。
Heart under blade.
キスで呪いが解けるってのは考えるだに。
Kiss shot.
Ah.
Wow. Oh,
No, how's
どうやら
Orion
また
get
死ん
in?
でしまったらしい。
yeah, the voice is higher pitched. He's not here.
Was she
Uh-oh.
just now realizing that? Oh,
He's dead.
yeah.
He tried to kill her.
Uh-huh.
スーサイドマスター
何も言わなくていい。
生き返るのですよね。
Uh-huh. Yeah.
スーサイドマスター、あなたも死に続けていればいずれは死ぬという。
命がけなのは当たり前のことだ。そしてトロピカレスクが死んだのは貴様のせいではない。
Yeah, it's not your fault.
貴重な食材を踏まれたくない。こいつを踏んでいいのは俺。
All this blood, yeah.
Yeah. I guess I will I will debase myself this much. Yeah.
立たせたな、アセロラ姫。もう行っていいぞ。まあ、もう二度と会うことはないとまで思い詰めることは。
Permanent. That's a good one.
今の私は知りません。そんな方法はないのかもしれない。ならば私は捧げられた彼らの命を。
Wow, this might be over then right here then. Jim.
Wow.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild.
Uh-huh.
私が食べます。私は彼らを食べたいのです。お願いします。私を吸血鬼にしてください。
Because that might as well be like what I am.
Yeah.
吸ってください。スーサイドマスター。
And said like that, it almost seems noble.
人間をやめることになる。
分かっております。一切承知の上でこう
Nice. This is poetry. I love it.
私が自ら望んでいるのだとしても無理なのでしょうか。
無理だろうな。極論を言えば、貴様の気持ちも、貴様の意識も、貴様の望みも、一切合切関係ないのだ。
Only probably.
スーサイドマスター、私の意識は関係ない。
Are you sure about that? Yeah.
それがどうした？
どうして突き飛ばせたのだと思いますか？
どうしてって。
I love it. And now she's following after her. Yeah.
貴様がノーダメージだったから、俺様もノー
And so the ultimate predator flees.
です。今も胸の真ん中にあなたの手形がくっきり
Wow. Fun.
ずっと考えていたのですが、今あなたがおっしゃった話を聞いて一つの仮説。
Go. Leave me be.
あなたが私のために私を思って私を召し上がってくださるなら。
It would be likened to a kiss of love, you know?
ではふつつかものですが、
Perfect.
よろしくお願いします、スーサイドマスター。
Now the red can be contrasted properly.
Yeah.
これまで通りのスーサイドマスターでいい。お互い生きていたらの話だ。強いて言うなら、
Yeah. The way she's smaller even now, like she died
Yeah.
of starvation since their previous conversation.
And because Acerola will have killed her, she'll have to eat her.
貴様が教えてやった箔のある
Yeah.
笑い方はどうした？
Yeah.
そうで
This
し
is.
た。
And if she dies one more time.
上なんてしていません。いえ、しておらぬわ。
As if, yeah.
わしはウヌを信じておるのじゃ。
I love how
信じてって。
Yeah.
because of the height, Deathtopia is on the pedestal.
Yeah.
But that also makes it seem like she's actually the sacrifice.
Uh-huh.
私もその化け物になろうとするものです。あなた
Oh, you already have.
クールでハードで、そして優しくも美しい吸血鬼に。
The warm-blooded, cold-blooded, iron-blooded.
アセロラ姫。キスショットアセロラオリオンハート。
There we go.
Boom!
貴様の名前だ、キスショット。貴様のために死
Not
んでい
said
く
out
人
of
間に
hunger.
口づけ。
Not said
Yep.
for a meal. Oh my gosh.
プレート。 気に入りました。スーサイドマスター。
And that's the last bit of her beauty right there.
精進するがよい。
Oh, she's weak.
とても嬉しい時はこう笑え。
Yeah, too weak to even maintain the palace.
Yeah.
仕上がれ。
There we go. And now she will live forever.
Perfect.
Yeah, and now
美し姫と呼ばれていたお姫様はキスショットアセロラオリオンハートアンダーブレード
Her name was Laura?
yeah.
人間を食う化け物になったし、俺様もこうして生き
Yeah, here you are.
俺様があいつに抱いていた情
Oh. Oh, that's sad.
まあそれが食欲でなくって
Right, you know that for sure.
食いったんだから何でもいいさ。美味しい思いもできたしな。
Beautiful.
探りようもない。その後の動向は噂でしか知らんが、予想通りあいつは素晴らしい吸血鬼になった。
Yes, indeed.
怪異殺しの怪異の王、一度くらい聞いたことはあるだろう。
I think so.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
ちょっともとうとう極東の島国で吸血鬼退治の専門家に退治されたとか。いやはやこれは極めて信憑性の
Right.
ここは一つ600年ぶりに会いに行ってみよう。
Oh.
ハードでクールに積もる童話もあるだろうせ。
Oh, that's a fun tease. That's a fun tease. Wow.
Holy shit.
I have to apologize to this show. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That was absolute cinema. Monogatari, I keep forgetting like what your game really is. Like the first episode of this little mini arc was way better than I expected, and I don't think I came in with the right amount of optimism.
Sure.
But this episode took
Holy
everything
shit.
that was even my slightest worries, and even my stupid petty worries, and was like, nope, we're delivering you a 10 out of 10 Monogatari experience.
Yep. Man, So, okay. I had a feeling.
Incredible.
I had a feeling at like the beginning of my experience with this show that like, Shinobu, once I saw the helmet, I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's going to be one of my favorite characters, you know? I'm like, I think that's going to be one of my favorite characters, right?
I get it.
And like, you know, all the arcs are great and everything, right? You know, the whole thing of like, who's best girl in Monogatari? Well, whichever Monogatari girl is getting the focus, right? You know,
right.
yes,
Whichever
absolutely.
arc you're on right now.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll say it's Shinobu.
Shinobu's top, you know. Like she's pretty top up there. Like the exploration of a character that was so understanding of the kindness being shown to her,
right,
by going through this whole process of setting her free from the blessing, basically, to the point that she ends up realizing, wait, that's it. I have to eat them. I have to kill them, and I have to eat them. I have to make their deaths mean something.
Right.
The idea that the fundamental problem was that she was going to keep killing people, even though it's not her fault.
Right.
And she wasn't actually killing them per se. The idea that she had to make their deaths mean something, and that was the motivation to find beauty in the act of being
right,
the center of all this death. Like that's impressive.
Yep. And then
that's impressive. You could have seen that coming too. Like that's something that's really, really incredible.
And while this is not something that is stated by the episode, I'm entirely just going on a limb with this headcanon. So that's her motivation for becoming a vampire. Fantastic, beautiful, wonderful. The things that Deathtopia gave her as far as ways to conceal her beauty and thus save people, potentially, she was able to successfully do.
Right.
And then it gets to the point where it's okay, I'm a vampire, I need to eat to survive, but I will not allow these people to harm themselves by seeing me as I truly am. And so the you know, as she has fully embraced being a vampire right after centuries and all that stuff, then the least that I can do is at least be the one to kill them. Right? Like, there you go. And I will carry them with me. Like this was a fantastic journey, even in such a short amount of time, and exploration of the idea of how someone becomes a vampire and gets to the point where they kill people without it just being and then they become a mindless monster or whatever. The instincts take over. They become, they are not who they once were, all that stuff. And that can still be good and entertaining and all that stuff, right? But that's a different kind of story, right?
Yeah.
And then it can be really difficult to get at the humanity of the vampires if that's how your vampires are, right?
Right.
And the vampires are like that in this show, right? It's just we're getting at a specific exceptional
Case.
example, right?
Yeah, the idea that Kiss Shot had this whole realization of I am going to be the center of all this death. I'm going to put on every bit of this woman's mannerisms and characteristics, because while I might be blessed, she is cursed. Right. But she has found a way to live with that curse. So I could theoretically live with that curse. So she makes that logic connection before she's even willing to understand the end point of that, which is, oh wait, I could just take your curse. Like I could literally just do that. And the idea that Monogatari plays in a lot of ways with the idea of finding the beauty within the pain, the awful, the struggle, and what have you. The idea that Shinobu's ultimately was seeing the beauty within what Deathtopia was doing.
Right.
And that's really special because I thought, and I was wrong, but I thought this would end in Kiss Shot's first kill, basically, and that she would drink of Deathtopia, but no, she didn't have to.
Yeah, and that's something that is a wonderful subversion of the own rules that the show has established, right? That, the proportionality of the blood that you consume of, the vampire and all that stuff is how powerful you are, right? Araragi only had a tiny little bit left, and so that's why he is, a sort of almost vampire, right? For most of the show, right? And things like that. But no, even though she didn't actually end up killing Deathtopia, even though she didn't end up taking all of the blood, she was given everything.
Yeah.
And so
it was an act of love. And I find the tragedy of the choice, the choice tragedy for this arc being that Deathtopia never figured out like what that feeling was. Like what was that thing that drove me to this? And I find that so beautifully sad. I find that to be something that I hope doesn't get like obviously this is a prequel and they're like teasing Deathtopia comes to visit Shinobu set up, and
awesome.
I hope that's also good. Yeah. Now, obviously, we're just skipping 600 years, so she's going to be just exactly the same.
So okay.
You know what I mean?
With the way that this went, I think they can absolutely go into an arc of Deathtopia returning without it being something that needs to bring the usual conflict that a Monogatari arc would involve, right? Because of how beautiful this was and how it went and everything, right? Then as far as the 600 years thing and the fact that she was still in that small diminutive form, I'm going to go out on another headcanon limb that I would not be surprised if this gets directly contradicted, disproven, all that stuff in the show later. But the idea that she still has not fed since, that Kiss Shot will be her next meal, will be her final meal, and the blood that was given is such because of the gift that it was, that it sustains her even now. Right? That,
maybe. But she's a vampire.
Right. Yeah, it's getting into the, going more into poetry than like hard mechanics and all that stuff.
I mean, I guess she was eating her own head earlier, so we'll
Yeah.
see. I in some ways don't want a full arc with Deathtopia visiting. I feel like it's the kind of thing of where the tragedy of this being something where I find it more fascinating to think of this girl wandering the 600 years and
Sure.
figuring it out only little bit by little bit. Obviously, the never fully figuring out because it was a memory from all that time centuries ago and stuff. So it's the what exactly was it? And thus it can be something of where, meaning you don't figure it out, meaning that it could have been any one of these things.
Right.
But while, yes, obviously it was something along these lines, what it was initially or what it was
Sure.
in the moment or something.
I think the word you're looking for is love. But
Yeah, no, obviously
right.
that's what it was, but
Yeah.
I find it something where it could undercut the beauty of that if it's I made no development and figuring out anything in that regard. Like I didn't even have an inkling. And then once I'm around characters that matter again, everything accelerates
So-
and it kind of I don't know, it might feel weird to me.
I get you.
And
that's
what I mean?
And that's where I think that if we have an arc, it's not going to be a full arc like what we got with Nautico before. It's going to be another short arc like this one where it's really kind of part A, part B. And what I think it could end up being, because I don't think it will necessarily have to have conflict, is there will be some reminiscings. There will be the meeting of Araragi and being like, oh, yes, the you found your prince or, whatever, that I said maybe you'll find someday and all that stuff. And then they're going to go to a donut shop together, and Shinobu's going to be like, hey, it's not blood, but like, have you tried these things? They
That
are
would be cute.
incredible,
That'd be cute.
And it just ends up being just good
little
fluff
scene.
and comf, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, then that sounds great. I love it from the hey, it's good to see you doing well kind of thing. Like that,
Yeah.
that would be fun. And also just the idea that Kiss Shot or Shinobu now
Yep.
has changed so much.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah,
It'll be getting to know
Yeah.
each other all over again,
right.
Yeah.
And that would be really cool to then also see Shinobu with like Araragi or something.
Yeah.
So
Senjigahara's just there as like two vampires like rise out of the shadow and they're like talking or chatting or whatever, and she's just like, oh, we have guests,
yes.
like, yeah.
But also I think because I I really do want to focus on some other characters as well. And the fact that this arc was what I didn't think it was going to be, just the literal exact origins of
Yep.
Shinobu being a vampire, becoming a vampire. But also the fact that it didn't take too much time of the Often Monster season means that we now have a good amount of time to focus on other characters, because I think the beauty of this is in the character of Deathtopia being so realized despite only having kind of an episode and a half to do that, which I think is just really incredible. And then the princess fairy tale, the kiss, the twisting and the subversion of the fairy tale. I love the conclusion to this so much, and I wouldn't want to see the conclusion epilogued out of Impact.
Also, I gotta say, I really like the detail of the no. It's not that she has, it's not the whole beauty thing. It's the fact that the beauty is being put on display, right? It's that everyone can see it. And because the notion of like a fairy tale, right, where, there's, some princess who's so beautiful that, whole kingdoms kill themselves.
Dragons come and
all that stuff. That's
Knights.
a bit far fetched. It's a bit out there as far as, like the beginning of the 6.5, believing it as a literal story that happened. It's a bit hard to chew, right?
Right.
But the idea that no, it was actually something where, a truly beautiful person, right? Everyone was then able to see how wonderful they were, and that could be something that could have that kind of a, fundamentally dramatic, violent.
Yeah, it revealed their own inadequacies and everything. They became jealous or envious. They wanted to harm, and then they realized how awful
or they
to do that.
Attained enlightenment, and or however you want to call it, right? But I really like that.
Yeah. The leaning into that fairy tale side of it, though, for this mini arc from the 6.5 stuff, and actually that is kind of what was going on here. But then having the deaths interstice kind of as resets for all the scenes and everything, I thought was really fun.
Yep.
I thought that it was also really cool when the deaths stopped being mentioned.
Right.
Because they were so frequent that it wasn't worth bringing up.
We can start to tell how
they literally had the Roman numerals showing up in between the parts there to make that point. Sometimes they would add an additional 2 deaths to that point there at a time. But I was bringing up the idea that those were literally in the anime the actual points when they would, make there be deaths. Yes, they could have been chapter numbers or something like that.
I know you're 100. I think you're 1,000,000% right.
What did you think they were?
I thought they were chapter numbers, and I feel so stupid for that because I've read a lot of some of the light novels.
I mean, it could be both. It could be both. Well, because again, there was a point when they're like, "Oh, I died 3 times last night, and we only saw 1 Roman numeral number come up." So it doesn't have to be that, but it's more the point that death happened. Reset. But then, yes, after a certain point, it became, I'm dying every night about 2 or 3 times.
Right.
Yeah, it would be kind of odd to just leap ahead tons of Roman numerals and stuff.
But
I also found it fun because I could tell they were setting up to end on 20, which is a double X, which is another sign for death, basically.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun.
So that was really cool. But yeah, the beauty of this arc, the poetry of it, and then having us get a proper sending off to a character who's been honestly just a gem anytime she's on screen.
Yep.
Anytime Shinobu's been brought back into the Monogatari story in some facet, she steals the show. And so to have that aspect of her happen in an arc that is about not really her, in a fun way. It's about this other person that she was that she chose to conceal,
right? That
she would wait until she would find basically the safety in which she could love and be open.
Yeah,
and so that's just kind of wonderful.
It's about Shinobu in the sense that we carry the people that we have met and been affected by. And so this story about Deathtopia reveals so much about Shinobu.
Right, reveals so much about who she chose to carry with her all along.
And also, I just gotta say, man, I'm sure at some point, the act of all of the things that she does that she had learned from Deathtopia and all that stuff probably became, real for Shinobu, So the idea that with Shinobu's massive ego, I won't say overinflated because, she is all that in a bag of chips, but with her
we've seen her inflated, and that's saved for Kizu, so.
No. Well, anyways, but the idea that she's like, yes, I literally do all of these things and am so egotistical so that no one literally just offs themselves from the glory of my presence. That. Oh yeah. That is fantastic.
That's just her ugliness.
As just a joke, while also being, yes, the ugliness and that it's real and which is real, the fake or the real thing, and if the real thing or the fake, is that to be the real thing, then which is more about, there's just, it's the Ouroboros shit that was happening with, Deathtopia eating her own head in order to sort of keep surviving and all that stuff is, the same thing, but from, a comedy, but also, narrative poignancy angle with Shinobu, and I love it.
Yeah. I love also just hey, so you're going to have people dying for you. In fact, we have a very particular character that we've seen die for you quite a bit.
Yes.
But in them doing that, show them love.
Yeah.
There's something that, if we want to get symbolic here,
Okay.
the idea of having a whole bunch of people just die because they're so enamored by you,
Sure.
that's hard to relate to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just
a
gonna
bit.
say that's
Just
a
a
hard
little
thing to
bit.
stretch
Yeah.
at, but I'm going to try and pull it into the mundane. One of the things that people do in relationships or in any kind of love connection
Sure.
is that they will do things that are in service of you.
Yeah.
They will do things that are sacrificial. Part of that, from I think a small symbolic standpoint, is basically that the ultimate act of love is to lay down your life for someone.
Sure.
So the idea that that would be the curse inversion of her blessing
Right.
is that everyone loves her so much that they can't help but
Right.
die for her.
Right.
Now, that's the premise of this ridiculousness, right?
Yes. Yes.
But I think the point that you could get at, like with something beautiful here, is, or something beautiful out of this, is that if you, as a human being, find it alien, the idea that I'm saying I do, the idea that
Yeah.
people would die for you because they love you so much. No, that's actually how beautiful relationships can be. Not that they would literally die,
You know. Yeah.
but that they would love you that much, that is something that they could resolve to do because they love you.
And mind if I?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go a step further, but in a poetic kind of direction.
Theoretically poetic.
There we go. What is the difference between life and death? Death is the instant at which life stops, right? But life is leading to death. That's what you're doing the entire time. And so,
Time is the only difference, really.
right. And so, oftentimes fiction will put up on a pedestal the idea of laying down your life for someone, right? But in a lot of ways, while that is absolutely a fantastic act of love, some people might be able to do that, but maybe they can't actually live their life for someone where they make the little sacrifices every day, right? And so one might
that's yeah.
and so one might say that all those times when say you are spending your whole life
Yes.
with someone, that all those little decisions you make, all those little sacrifices, is you are giving little slices of your life to them.
Well, right, because you're giving time. Yeah.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
And so you are
You're
effectively
making the little deaths.
you are
yeah.
effectively dying for them just over a longer period of time,
Yes.
right? And so, that while it is both so fundamentally alien and hard to relate to, it is also something that is so fundamentally relatable, right? Because
no. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you. The difference here is the mass number of people like
No,
doing
totally,
this, and
yes,
then
it
the
is-
actual act of dying.
Right.
The
Yes,
part that
right.
I'm bringing up is basically the exact same thing. Is that there's going to be times where people will love you so much that they will do things for you and because of you that have no logic or
Right.
easy to understand meaning behind it,
Yep.
other than no, they just love you.
Yeah.
And that's the ultimate blessing. Like that is actually the blessing of living.
oh yeah.
And so the idea that a vampire doesn't ever really fully understand that, one, because they have unlimited time,
Right.
the acts in the moment of then you trying to stop someone from dying, because you'd be like, wait. What would all of this time have been for? It would have been
Sure.
a waste.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Don't throw away your life in a waste like that.
Yep.
Wait a minute.
I think that might be relevant to
There might be something there, you know?
to the chronologically next Chernobyl arc. Yeah.
So very, very impressive to set that up as well.
Yes.
In this way that would make us just go, oh, this is awful. This is some eldritch nightmare thing of why is the beauty that's
Right.
crazy. And it's just it's just a crazy over the top symbolic
Right. Which is what good fairy
Act of
tales
love.
should do, right? You aren't just dark for the sake of dark, right? It's dark for the sake of highlighting something, you know? And now that we've talked about all the serious stuff, I want to bring up some silly shit. So
Yeah, there's a lot.
this beautiful, amazing, narratively poignant episode. And then there's the reference to Araragi eventually down the line, right?
The prince. Yes.
Now let's cut to, in our minds, Araragi, Kizu 3 fight compared to this scene. Ah, beautiful sacrifice, all this stuff. Araragi, like running with his arms flailing behind him, his head popped off like a bottle rocket. You know, like just all of that.
Ah, yes, you'll meet a praiseworthy prince. Sorry, we're sorry. You can't unsee that now. It's in your mind
I
right
think
now.
that's incredible, and I
Driving you
think
mad.
that's beautiful.
I think so too. Yeah, actually, I think that's really funny.
Because there will be the times where when you're like, okay, hey, you know, laying down your life for someone over the course of the life that you live together. Ah, yes. And you think about it in your mind, and you're like, ah, yes, it's this. But sometimes it's all the stupid shit that actually kind of looks like Araragi running around with, you know, spaghettied arms.
No, it really is.
Dragging the
actually.
wind
Like,
behind him, you know?
Yeah, that's probably the part that's so
Like they rip a...
cosmically funny about love in
Right.
a lot of ways.
Your partner rips a terrible fart.
I was
and you're like,
literally
"Good job,
thinking
babe,"
about
you know?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was literally thinking about the ripping of farts. Like, it's just like, she's gonna rip it right next to you.
Yeah.
On you.
Or worse, you try and turn away so that you don't rip it onto them, but then you actually just shoot the ripped fart straight into the air and then it falls back down.
Like, yeah, it doesn't matter. It's a toxic gas.
Right.
It just swirls around like this.
Like it's
Like-
all of that. It's the both. It's the yeah.
Yeah, life is like a fart. If you have to force it, it's probably crap, you know?
I think you're crossing the streams there on the metaphors, but
I
yeah.
think so, yes. But yeah, having the idea also that every single verbal tick that Shinobu has, every laugh, everything
Yep.
like that was an immortal trying to prop up their pig basically in their
Right.
pen. And they're like, God damn it, you're so fucking cute. Like I can't you can't you just rub around the mud, and then they just do it, and then they just go, "Wee," and then you're like, fuck, and then you just like, if you think about it from the like, what if this was a human and their pet kind of situation? Like, it's so freaking
You're
funny.
Like you're raising them and you're brushing them down, you're giving them a milk bath, and you're like, you are gonna make the best bacon, you know, right?
Like, yeah, you're just so cute.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna eat you. It's gonna be, and then you're just like, I'm gonna, and you just go to the bathroom and you're like, no, I can't. I'm an awful person. Why would I do that? No. And then they come up to you and they're like, wee, wee.
And you're like, no, go away. You're not helping.
You can't be here right now. I'm an awful person. Like I could not not think of that, but I was also like so enraptured by the beauty of this that it never like needed to bubble up to the surface.
Right.
But I'm so glad that you're like, there's a lot of funny going on this episode, and I'm like, yes, absolutely. Let me pull it back out, and I'll show you the beauty that I hid from all of you. Oh my god. So funny.
I love that we actually get her OG name, and it's just Laura.
Yeah.
Like
Laura.
that is I will
Laura
say-
Ingalls Wilder.
Yeah,
you
right.
know?
Like that is also beautifully poetic because it also shows that the kind of beauty that could be so wonderful and terrible and terrifying and all of that could come from such a regular person. You know,
yeah.
like, you know, you don't need to have had a name like Acerola or whatever, right? Like,
Oh, that's fun. It has to do with Latin base name
yeah.
to do with the laurel or victory.
Nice.
And laurel, I believe, is a tree. Yeah. So this was probably just also a confirmation that Shinobu is Italian. like maybe. No, because Latin, you know, origins with Rome and everything,
Okay.
and then also the idea that like the tree is like from that area.
I
and stuff.
believe we had it established quite clearly that she was French.
Is that true?
I believe so.
Okay.
The French ED for Kizu. Although, if this ends up being the thing that can go alongside is that Spanish? Then that would be fantastic, because I didn't think we'd get it to be able to double dip on that joke.
I mean,
like that.
it is all. Yeah, French
you
would,
heard it
French
here.
Would,
You
French
heard it
would
here,
all fit
folks.
within the
No,
Latin-based thing here.
Shinobu is Italian.
No, I think that would be like.
That's why we're always
something.
seeing her eat spaghetti. Like.
Well, actually, let's think about this. Let's think about this a little bit more here. This is like just 600 years ago.
Right.
So this is way after everything to do with Rome and everything like that. So doesn't like fit at all in the slightest.
She could have been like from specifically Constantinople or something. Don't give up on your.
You know where Constantinople is, right? Like, yeah, I knew it. Yeah, exactly. That's not even in Europe. So now, with regards to just her name being Laura, I thought it was funny because Laura as a name.
Sure, that doesn't sound like a French name.
It doesn't sound like a French name.
Yeah.
Like honestly, it.
Yeah, maybe when she became a princess, that's in France or whatever.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that there's a fun line in a lot of ways where her name being Acerola, like that was actually her like her princess name in a lot of ways.
Sure. Yeah, we could look up the etymology of that.
Right, meaning more that it's something of like she was like not actually like meant to be like a princess in a lot of ways.
Well, sure, or just the idea of like, okay, but just because some, people come up with a name for her because she also wasn't a princess, so like, if she's so unbelievably beautiful that
it's
all
not
of this
Aurora,
stuff happens.
basically. It's Acerola.
No, right, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if they went for a name that did not hold to the etymological roots of their general country, because it's
This is Monogatari. You think etymology is ever not on the mind of Nisio Isin? Like,
Nisio Isin is a mad lad of wordplay and everything, but this is not a historical fiction.
No, but he chose to give...
No, right. But the 600 years ago, like, we're not supposed to then be like, okay, but 600 years before this showed up, what was happening in France at that time? And, like, how does this fit into the villages that were destroyed?
But why
and,
give us the name Laura?
I think it's for the
super fans.
No, I think it's because it's such a mundane kind of
That's
name,
my point.
right?
That's my point.
But not
is that
for showing where she like came from specifically.
No, but I think that's my point, is that if you show for the mundanity of it, that shows she didn't come from the castle. She didn't come from this place there.
Well, no, right, but we knew that already.
I know, so
Okay.
Therefore, if she was raised in a French castle, she doesn't necessarily have to come from France necessarily. Like, she could come from another Latin-based country.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's my thought.
All right.
Is that in a lot of ways there's just something beautiful about her being more of originally just a
Sure.
peasant girl.
And hey, who knows? Maybe the fans will be like, no, Caleb was actually right, and I'll be like, okay, yeah, good job. But if this ends up being a thing where now we have Spanish and Italian,
no, I
would love that.
It has nothing to do with that, because it's the idea that her character is one that I've always wondered where all that ego came from, and the idea that if she's a princess, and it's the like, oh, so she came from that kind of environment, and it's like, no, her name was Laura. She was not a princess. She was just somebody random or what have you. It to me makes it feel kind of sad, but also like curious of, okay, so then what was Laura's home life like? We still haven't actually had the origins of Shinobu or who she is. We just have
if we wanted to get
the vampire origins. We're still holding back on the kind, family that loves her and never see her again. Like,
we don't need more Shinobu backstory, but if the show wanted to give us Laura on a farm or something like that, absolutely, I'd be down for that. That would be great.
Yeah.
But Italian.
Yeah, it could have been a farm in northern Italy, northwestern Italy, next to France.
As far as this is also great because my entire thought behind like the ego of Shinobu right before this.
right.
You know, is the, no, it's not just that she's a vampire, she's a French vampire. And so, of course, you know, she'd be like, yes.
Yes, so she goes to Japan because
you know,
she's so
600
French.
years.
Yes.
You do lots of things, right? Over the course of 6 centuries, right?
Yeah.
But-
No, I very much loved everything to do with this episode and
Mm-hmm.
the fact that we got such a definitive end for it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm very glad we did not have a 3-episode arc here.
Yes, me too.
The
This was
pacing
this
of this
fantastic.
episode was also much better than
Mm-hmm.
the previous one, and the little things that broke up the repetitiveness of the scenes and the story, like the I'm gonna poke my eye out, and then also the
Tropical-esque being
Tropical-esque just dead. Just didn't show up for his report because you died too many times, and he took it upon himself to
Maybe he showed
try
up-
and protect you.
Right.
And in that respect, he died for you, and thus gave also the hint as to wait, I have to make his death have meaning for me
Yeah.
because I failed him as his master. Oh wait, shit. Then that also incepts the idea into who will eventually kiss shot. Very
Also, just another little headcanon to add to the list, even though this one isn't like important. I like to think that Tropical-esque returned, and then she's just dead, and she hasn't woken back up yet.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's like,
of course, yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
This is it. I'm killing her. You
Well,
know, and then-
that's exactly
okay.
what happened because it happened while she didn't remember it. Like
right. Yeah.
like
Shit, she's dead. Also, this is my opportunity.
well, also all the times that she's woken up dead, he's been sitting there waiting, kneeling at the foot of the stairs, well, in the middle of the stairs. But the point being that he's not even allowed to go up and touch and investigate and do anything there.
Sure.
Probably because he would get killed immediately. But 2,
Yeah.
it's the idea that there was probably time between dying and coming back, where he's just there kneeling, waiting,
like,
being
I gotta
like,
do it.
Please, 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 please.
Yep.
come
This is
back.
getting too close. You know.
Right,
yeah.
right. So we have the subtle story going on of every time he's like, this cannot continue. you
Yep.
know, like-
Yep. Mhm. Yeah.
But
Beautiful
okay.
episode.
That was episode 8 of Monogatari Oven Monster. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You got an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. Also, be sure to check out our Twitch channel. See if any of that interests you. We'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb,
I'm Jacob.
and we'll see you all
next time.